Good.
We did.
Okay, all right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Old Webster Business District Commission Advisory Board.
Some other word.
On this August 27th. So it was nice having a little break in July. And so we're back to it. Call this meeting to order. As a quick reminder to everybody, our meetings not only are available to the public, they are recorded and kept live. So just keep that in mind as we have this worthwhile discussions. First order of business. We all got a chance to review the minutes from not last month's, but our last meeting from 2 months ago. Any comments, questions, or curiosities? I would entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Minutes approved. Thank you, Tim. And I guess we have official visitor today, Jamie.
I'm standing in for Emerson today.
Okay.
He couldn't make the meeting, so I'm Jamie Hessman, on council. Hi. And yeah, be here to listen,
Excellent.
lend support.
It was nice to have some representation from the city. council.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being here, Jamie.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks.
Do you have any special comments you'd like to share? I guess we.
Oh, sure.
We hold that, actually, we'll hold that for the city.
Okay, okay,
We'll do that for
good.
the city.
Okay, I was like, all right, let's roll. All
So
right.
beyond that, no official visitors for the moment. So we'll roll on to old business. Last month on rooftop lighting, we had no update. Is there anything from the city on that? Renee?
We do not have any
you
updates on that yet. That is a plan, though. I know that Eric has ordered lights, and I think that the next step, but can y'all hear me? I was told I don't project. The next step should be to contact everybody and start getting ready to string the lights and such. So that is all the update that I have.
Is there any possible way we can have that done before the holidays? Our lighting is looking real rough.
Yeah.
right now.
No, I understand that. So that would probably be
bulbs.
You know what? I don't know. Because I would imagine some of the bulbs are dim and
Yeah, some of
they
them
look
like
different.
Like our new restaurant, like the top, like
It's sad.
it's
It's
sad.
very
Like I was on the
embarrassing.
roof the other day, I was like, they're just bulbs. I'm like, you can take them out, the new ones.
Yeah.
I just turned ours off because it was so bad. We
Okay.
don't even have our strand and we're the whole strip all the way down to the flower shop. So
Right. So I do have a question from historic present standpoint. Did Public Works help string those lights? Like, okay.
I'm not
and
sure.
we hired Stripe
Oh, y'all
Lucky,
hired. Y'all hired.
and
Okay.
we have had Stripe come out and it was supposed to be a plan to
Okay.
move down the street. But the plan of moving down the street is taking so long that now we have to go back and fix the original
all of them.
ones.
Okay.
But this has been brought up at every single meeting for
Oh,
the
I understand.
past year,
Okay.
and we're not getting answers.
And I'm not trying to.
No,
get
you're
on
totally
back.
fine.
I'm
We just
trying
need to figure out what to
understand. I'm trying
do.
understand.
Like if we need to step in,
So when you hired,
Stripe.
was this
The city hired.
the city
Oh, yeah.
hired? So we went out and got the bids and got
Bids,
somebody to come and do it.
yeah.
Okay.
I have a
Where,
question.
where is Eric? I mean, ever since you've gotten here, Eric has not been really at a meeting.
Okay, I think is on his way, but we are transitioning.
Right, I know, and I understood the transition, and that's fine. I'm just wondering why he's not. I mean, ever since you started transitioning, he has not been here. I mean, he came in last Thursday at the meeting, halfway through. I mean, you're asking questions that we shouldn't have to answer for you. I mean, that's part of him being here to train you this stuff.
Right, sir. He is on his way. I apologize if I'm asking questions, and yes, he is training, but I am a visual and an audible learner, so he is training, but I would like to take this opportunity just to get my own better understanding so that I can help move the process along.
So Renee is going to be our new city liaison. So appreciate you being here, Renee. When is that transition supposed to be fully in effect? Do you have any
Probably
thoughts on
next
that?
year.
Okay,
Yeah, the beginning of next
Finally,
year is when she's supposed to be full time.
So I finally hired 2 directors. So for the last 3 months, I have been like burning candles at all ends in the middle. So I finally now have an opportunity to focus more on these commissions, learn what you all are doing. I'd like to also visit. I've visited your shop before, but visit more in an official capacity and just talk to you all, understand what's happening. And if allowed, that's how I get to know everybody. And that's how I also get acquainted with what your concerns are, and especially policy concerns and initiatives. So I do ask that,
Renee, I'm not criticizing you at all. I'm not criticizing you in any way, shape,
I
or
don't think
form.
this is an attack against you at all. I
No,
think
not at
it's
all.
really hard as a business,
Mhm.
taxing district to meet every single month and to be told things were moving along and processes were being done. And then you guys switched, and the stuff that we started with Eric seems to just got pushed aside as you're coming on transitioning. I mean, technically he should be here to answer the questions. This has nothing to do with you.
That's my point.
Personally, I wouldn't take it personally.
No, I'm not taking it personally at all.
I have a question about the lighting. Is it ever a consideration to, I don't know if you guys know, but I used to be the chair of Sustainability Commission, and dark sky is a massive issue with light pollution, especially in the migratory months of September and March or April. Anyway, I am just raising the awareness that if there's any possibility for those lights in those months to be like, dusk to, or go off at like midnight and then pop back on whenever they normally pop back on. And we don't have to discuss that now, but I'm just planting that seed to see if that's something we can discuss in the future.
Yeah, I would love to just get the lighting project done first.
For sure, for sure.
And then maybe we could bring that up to the green,
Timer.
the green advisory board. What is it?
Sustainability Commission or green
Sustainability,
space?
and maybe they can raise funds to put dimmers on the
Grants.
landlords that
Get a
are,
grant to put timers in.
yeah.
Yeah. Should make that might even be.
But this has been a 10-year project.
Yeah.
This isn't a 6-month, this is,
Oh, yeah.
this is
I'm aware.
something, okay,
Mhm.
and when Eric took over, he took over the lighting. So we used to actually, as the business district, members of this board would help facilitate the call between Stripe in setting up.
Mhm.
And then when he took it
Mhm.
over and said that he was gonna take it on,
Okay,
it was taken from our plates and nothing has happened. And that's why it's been kind of frustrating.
okay.
And so now we're going into the holidays
Yeah.
and we can't even use the lighting that has
Sure.
been part of a 10-year plan.
Yeah.
Or longer.
I mean,
It was
since
starting,
before I've been on commission.
yeah.
It's
I mean,
longer. It's longer.
Since I've been on this commission for 12 years and it started before I was on here. So.
Yeah.
Stacy had a curiosity.
Yeah.
So we don't have lights on our building,
Mhm.
but addressing that, the dark sky concerns, curiosities, does each building owner, do they turn them on or turn them off?
Yeah,
Or do they-
it's on my,
Do you just have a switch or something?
well, it's hardwired in.
So are they on like
Electronic eye.
24/7 then?
Well, not right now, but yes.
I mean,
normally
generally
they would.
speaking, they-
Yes, I have turned them on from my box, or turned it off from
And
my
there's a-
box.
And there's an eye on
It's
the
a,
roof.
yeah, just like a
There's a dust.
dusted on
Gotcha.
Okay.
that turns them off and on.
Yeah, it's to
So
give
that's
lighting in the district, because it is so dark in our district at night.
No, I think it adds a real nice charm for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When they're, yeah.
But a good consideration once that project actually gets moving again.
Yes, so I guess my question is, what can we do to help? Because we would like to see this done by the holidays. Is there something we can do?
I don't know.
Oh.
I
Yeah,
just.
Renee doesn't know. That's the problem.
I mean,
Eric-
I don't want to,
Eric,
I don't
no.
want to obligate something, and from my stance, I'd like to understand exactly where we are. And I will be happy to help push this and facilitate it to get before the holidays. I think that, I would hope that that has been the plan. That's why I was asking what I was asking, and to see where we are with the bid for the lights. And I believe that they have been ordered. But again, I don't want to misspeak, but the only thing that I can do, I'm sorry, I cannot change the past, but I can certainly help push forward and work on getting this done so that we have these lights up by Christmas.
Does anybody remember who was in charge of the lighting project before Aaron took it over? Before Mara, who was our person that helped? Who did?
Mark.
It wasn't just Mara. Tim, do you remember who from the board?
No, I thought it was just Mara.
No, we had,
Joe's on vacation, Joe would.
Joe's up there right now.
Joe here?
Can you ask Joe Rath, is that possible to bring a guest into the?
Joe is not a guest, he's a panelist.
He's not, Joe Rath is a guest, he's not a panelist.
He's a panelist, ma'am.
I
These are
mean,
the panelists right now.
yes, a panelist, not
So
a.
if he wants to speak, he can speak, he can unmute himself.
Okay, I am here. I do not remember exactly who was, Bill Newhouse,
Bill Newhouse,
yes. Now
with
that,
the insurance company,
yes. He was one of the facilitators to try and get it moving probably 25 years ago.
So I think the ask here, Renee, if Derek is unable to be present next month, we appreciate an update, and that'd be great. Thank
I'll
you.
have it for you.
Okay, excellent. Any other thoughts or comments on lighting? Moving on the parking signs. Frank, what's the latest
So this is,
there?
there is a sign here in the building. I need to get the sign and get it to, the painting company to see about removing all of the sticker material off so we can reuse the metal signs that we already have. Have to buy new ones.
Mhm.
After that, we can make a better assessment of actual costs.
Okay.
And then moving into district pedestrian signs. I should have some mock-ups of some items for that next meeting.
Okay.
Some digital printouts that you can see.
Need anything from through here? Okay. Thank you for that update. There's actually, I'll say 2 additional old business items from last month that came up, not currently on the agenda, but I wanted to address. There's been discussion of funding for our district. Well, not necessarily events, but really just funding from other service businesses, exempt businesses in the district,
Right.
how to get those in the
Oh.
fray and get additional funding for our general advisory commission. Let's see, we got, I did have some good feedback from Marie Peoples on this. She did some, actually, I would consider thorough investigation, some thoughtful comments. Unfortunately, at least as far as a fee structure, that appears to be a no-go and not an avenue that we'll be able to pursue, just because of, she indicates if we are going to pursue that, we anticipate that we will, that we would have some litigation issues to deal with, and
because it's unlawful.
it's unlawful.
Um,
So we unlike
got
in
it.
scenario. So now Dan Warner also had some good thoughts on this. Dan Warner's thoughts were, let's see, even though the Missouri statutes don't allow it, his thought, and I didn't get any response, I didn't debate this with Dan, but he was thinking, is there a path for us payment in lieu of taxes? Which again, I don't think that's a viable option.
You know,
So I think realistically, the way to get funding or additional funding, the most likely option is going to be to solicit like advertising or sponsorship dollars on events. So unfortunately, it's a bit of a brick wall.
Is this the place we would talk about eventually creating a ground level rule? Yeah, like where you have to be retailer to be on ground level in the district or
I think
restaurant
we could,
that generates that
I
generates.
suppose if we were interested in that, they
Yeah.
recommended the council, but that would be a legislative maneuver.
Right.
That something like that is in place. I'm not super in tune to all the different communities, but I know that there there are restrictions like that in place in Maplewood,
Mhm.
on the Manchester corridor. At one point, a number of years ago, I contemplated putting a business in there that was more service oriented. So that was no go. I mean,
Wonder if
use that
that
as a
is-
consideration.
I wonder if that is something that we look into to eventually, bring to council and make a recommendation to council that this is a request or an ask, so we can, your first floor, we can start generating tax revenue off of ground level.
Are there many businesses that are?
There's a
There's
ton.
a ton, I mean, there's so many.
Yeah, there's a
I
lot,
mean,
there's a lot of cities that have that in place. And I wonder if going that direction, since it's unlawful to charge a fee, that maybe if you went that direction, it might eventually catch up and start generating revenue for more sustainable for the future. Yeah, start talking about somewhere.
Is there any cons to that?
Lots.
There's
I mean, it,
a lot of
it's-
businesses.
I mean, it's a recommendation that could or couldn't be made, and then it goes to council, and then it's a city, it's not our ultimate decision.
No, we would go and request,
Yeah, that's a whole nother door. We have to look at everything. Before we even bring that up, like, we need to do some homework.
well, that's what I mean, is there a place to start?
Is there a way to just ask for donations from the dentists and the accountants?
The Edward Joneses.
Right, exactly. I mean, just say, hey,
Yeah,
and when you can just point out how many of the businesses there are that aren't, which could be almost half. They don't pay anything.
I'm sure there's no prohibition on soliciting donations.
Right, exactly.
I mean,
right.
it's a
We just need a little
non-mandatory
bit of
ask.
help, and don't ask for a ton and just say this would maybe be something, consider
yeah.
to help us keep up with our beautification, which is slipping every day. 'Cause of our
And that's
funding.
what the conversation is. Where we're at right now is not going to sustain us long term to be able to keep up. So we're trying to look for a solution now. So in 20 years from now, we're not in crumbles, or, we haven't been having to sell out to a Costco or something, whatever. I don't know, but all about sustaining a small town.
I think that's a reasonable
Ask.
ask. I feel like it'd just be a matter of putting together some bullet points of trying to do, get it out, right?
So basically, it would be like a check on the business renewal where it gives you the option to donate $100, $1,000, something.
Kind of almost feel like we'd want to do it independent of the business renewal process.
Okay.
So it doesn't even potentially run afoul of,
I'm sorry, if I got a
Doesn't mean
random
business.
email that said, hi, thanks for having a business in Webster Groves. Would you like to donate $500 to help sustain the town? I'd be like, what is this?
What about $200?
Yeah.
Could you, and explain to them that they don't pay anything into it and the budget shortfalls that we are doing and the plannings and stuff that we have to do to keep the neighborhood beautiful. So when their clients come in for their dentist appointment, it looks nice and it doesn't look trashy. I don't know.
I feel like
I
if
mean,
it's on the
Dave paid a
business.
couple years and didn't even know he wasn't supposed to pay, and he was,
right.
You were just giving money.
I was.
So, I mean, I think there are plenty of people who
I
would,
got it refunded one year.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
I think there are more people who would, I'm sure there's gonna be one or two. I know
Yeah.
there will be, there's no doubt about it. They're not going to, just like there's probably 20 people evidently who aren't paying their business license because we
Yeah.
don't know where that money just went. And so the retailers who are
Yeah.
supposed to be paying. So, I don't think it would hurt. It's definitely the easiest avenue with the least amount of kickback and the,
I do feel like though, if it is maybe with the business license, maybe not on the exact page, but maybe the pamphlet is with the business license renewal, it would feel a little bit more like stop, look, read versus just sitting on an email or a random piece of mail. Because like,
Those are gonna be online now, Stacy, though.
But I agree. I
Yeah.
think that if it were on that document as an optional beautification donation, many towns have a beautification committee. And I think you would find members in the community that are very interested in the plantings and the lighting specifically, don't want to be on a commission, but
Mhm.
really want to focus on beautification of Webster Groves. So it just needs that fund that's,
yeah,
there are a lot of people that I think would find that intriguing and they'd be interested in that.
yeah, and I like the wording, you know, like the beautification.
Of Webster Groves.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I've got a question. When, Joe, you probably know the answer to this one. When the street lights and the streetscape was all put in, how was that paid for?
The original streetscape and lighting.
Was that an assessment?
Okay,
To
It
property
was-
owners.
Yeah.
It's assessment.
it was an assessment based on the lineal feet of street frontage that you had. I don't remember the dollars exactly, but it was based on the linear feet of each property.
Okay, so that's so how was that done? Did the city just assess it or?
Yes, it was on the
On the tax bill?
tax bill, and it was to the property owner. I don't remember more details than that. But this was back in the
So that's another way.
80s.
Okay, so
Business
that's,
owner-
yeah, so
building
the,
owners?
we represent business and building property owners. And so individually and together, but there's also like the property owners that own the property. So to get the streetscape put in the late 70s, early 80s, they assessed all of the real estate as a real estate tax. And it was paid for by the building owners, which will then trickle down to any tenant, whether it's service or retail restaurant.
Mhm.
So if we ever need to, we could revisit that, I believe. And it would be an assessment onto, and everyone has to pay.
We call it like replenish our funds.
Exactly.
Maybe it's an every 5-year kind of thing, or
Yes, we'll double have to pay, but it's for the
Yeah, greater good.
greater good.
I would rather go after service that doesn't pay anything.
That's a long
Like,
uphill.
no,
battle,
but that's
right?
not. She is talking about putting a box on the license renewal as a sponsorship. I mean, people that are already paying a ton of taxes, like, can we ask people that aren't paying anything first? Rather than people that own a building are paying building taxes and have a business in their I'm paying so much tax.
Right. Why not?
And then there's businesses on my same street that aren't paying any.
I think Frank is
It's
just saying
frustrating.
another option. I don't think
Yeah,
saying
no, I
not
know.
to us for the donation.
I know, but
He's
it's like,
just trying to say.
at least go after this route first, okay.
I will check with the peoples just to see if there's any conflicts. If we want to go that route.
Yeah,
I would think on the form, if it was all electronic now, it would be a separate, link for beautification. Click here, that goes to a separate voluntary
Fish and
donation fund,
Wildlife
totally
Fund.
separate. Pardon?
The Fish and Wildlife Fund.
Right, totally separate from where the business license funds are going.
I mean, to me, this makes a lot of sense. I mean, let's see first if, they're willing to give money to beautify.
I think there would need to be a little promotion before it came out about what we're trying to do. Somebody who is the face of the beautification effort.
No. You see what happens when we vote for something, it's not, I'm not doing anything.
Thank you. Speaking of beautification, you'll recall Dan Warner last month, 2 months ago, actually as well, brought up some concerns about just the look of the city, beautification in various areas. And while we still have work to go, I think it actually did wonders in raising the issue. And there have been a number of areas that we have seen improvement. So just again, I think it's awesome. Kudos to Dan for bringing that to the attention of the city and this group. And I encourage you all to continue to keep your eyes open and express your concerns.
Somehow the train track grass has been cut.
I know,
That's amazing.
squeaky wheel.
Yes.
So,
I noticed that too. I was like, oh.
any other comments on funding for beautification of the area? Moving on, new business. We got down here a vacancy in the commission. So last meeting was Dan Warner's last time here on the commission. Does anyone have thoughts on people who pursue, chase down, and twist arms?
Is the process the same? You apply, submit a resume, go for the council? It seems like a lot that's intimidating. Initially, like, oh, I'm not gonna, I don't have a current resume, I'm not gonna.
We're not that strict.
Online, though, the process is a little intimidating.
Oh,
when
yeah.
you First look at it.
Don't know the answer. Jamie, do you know, has the application process changed?
So it's just slightly been
Mhm.
tweaked, and that's just to make sure that, you know, folks that are stepping forward are, you know, the kind, like, we touch base with the chair of the commission to make sure that everything feels okay. And our process, we used to, so yes, there is a online form to be filled out. Again, that's to make sure that these are Webster residents, and we just had a lovely human being apply who's relocating here, and we had some rules with one of the commissions that she wanted to be a part of, and so we had to address that. But that's the reason why, it's just to filter through. So it's you know, you have to offer what's the term? Oh my gosh, words are escaping me this morning. Anyway, you have to offer some references and just fill out some information, and then it doesn't take that long, and 90% of the time folks are.
And I will let you know, I will also be offering up a vacancy. I'm retiring in January. Thank you. Kind of
Okay.
pivoting, starting a new path, so I will no longer be a business owner.
Oh, wow.
So you're leaving.
Yeah, that is so
exciting.
Story 7.
I am not, yes, as an owner. Yes. Thank you. It's exciting. My life is a little unpredictable these days, and I just need more flexibility. So
Very good. So
there's
really start knocking on
I
doors.
actually. But, all right. So we need to go ask some business owners, just,
And if you have a name or thought and want me to have a conversation with them, so.
Betsy's so busy. She can't even make trade meetings right now.
On to the BDC update.
I'm
Yeah,
so sorry, with new
Please. Yeah.
business, there's a few things we need to talk about. I was
Okay.
really
Please, sorry.
hoping that we would have Eric here, because I've called and left a few messages and emailed a few times. Because he runs the permits for the events. And at the last trade meeting, Brand had mentioned that with any event taking place in Webster, that the police chief is requiring for permit approval that we hire private police officers.
Mhm.
We did not prepare for that fund. The event is less than 2 months, both of them. Oktoberfest is right around the corner. Holiday Open House is right around the corner. So I was hoping to talk to Eric today to find out what exactly that means. Will we have to cancel these events? Is the city going to help fund some of this? Nobody has called me back, so.
So I'm not aware of your emails. You weren't copying me. But I can share that traditionally, we have paid for city sponsored events. I think the one event that's kind of fuzzy is Jazz Fest. And we paid for that, but I'm taking your question to say you don't have it in the budget to pay for
No,
police.
we do not.
Is this a new requirement, Stacy?
That's Brian just
Yeah,
brought
this-
it up at
this
the
is-
trade meeting.
This coming from the police chief.
Effective immediately.
But I don't even know what
Yeah,
that means, because I
Right.
can't get Eric.
they're
to-
doing it for the gazebo series, and we don't know, and we can't get Eric to tell us how many police officers we need. I mean, we don't know exactly.
I mean, I don't even know if we should continue to try to get sponsorship if the event's gonna be
So-
canceled.
If do you have my email? Because I can find out. I think it would be based upon the estimated not population, attendees to your event. That's number one, to figure out if you need, how many additional police officers. I can help you with that. I have done this in other cities.
Okay.
So it's not an Eric question. You
Well,
don't
the
have to
funding
limit
might
yourself.
be
to
from
Eric.
Eric, right? Because
Hmm?
the funding might be, because here's the deal. I know you say that Jazz Fest is a fuzzy thing, but
It's a
the
fuzzy-
Jazz Fest is a very similar kind of sponsorship that the Holiday Open House and the Walktoberfest have. So the Walktoberfest and the Holiday Open House both get funding from this business district as a lump sum. So it is sponsored by the city in a way.
In a way,
Right.
So
I know,
if
it's
Yeah,
tricky.
so if
Collects
it's
the
being
taxes and
sponsored
then
by
pays for
the
everything.
city, then the city should require to provide police. It really shouldn't be up to the business owners to have to provide the police officers for a city event. Yes, we volunteer to move the event along, but it's a city sponsored event as well.
And I guess one of the other things is that we've never had to have police before. And
To throw
in
it
the
a month.
20 years that I've been in business, there's never been one issue ever. And so this is all of a sudden just a new rule. And could we maybe ask, I mean, the police chief may not know that. I don't, being new and coming in, I'm not exactly sure. And Sergeant Planner, you could let us, I mean, have you ever seen a problem in any of those events?
Not that I know of.
Okay, and I've just never heard of an issue.
So are one of these events, are you adding like a tasting down the street?
Perennial will be doing a beer tasting during Walktoberfest. They will be helping fill out the permits because they are going to have to get their own permits for the event as well, but it's an overall event put on by the Walktoberfest through the trade association, also sponsored by the city. So I needed
Where's
to
their
talk,
booth at?
what?
Where's their booth?
It's gonna be where the band is, where we shut down the parking garage, but I can't even put together things to even ask you to be doing it until I even find out if we can continue. I have so many questions and I guess I just need to call you instead of Eric.
If you'd like, I would appreciate it if you could forward me, and I'm happy to talk to the chief, the police chief.
But we
And
really need
the other,
like,
and the other thing is you have to take into consideration is the overtime. They have to get paid. So I doubted that the fee that would be assessed would even be equal to what the police officers are actually having to pay. But I'm happy to work with you and get you some answers before the end of the week
okay,
so that whatever decision needs to be made, we can talk about that. I'm not prepared now because I don't know what you have shared with Eric, but
Eric's always done the permits, you know about the
No,
permits.
I got it. I
Okay, so
understand
I
the
called him
permits.
to say, we need to talk through this event.
Mhm.
Because one, not only did we add this additional feature of Perennial now being a beer sponsor, but we also have Holiday Open House right around the corner.
Mhm.
So before I start getting money from business owners to help sponsor this event, I can't even go to the business owners until we even know that we can afford this, because this is a new fee that has just been dropped on our plate. I just found out a few days ago.
It sounds like, Renee, it would be helpful to have clarity on what the requirements are.
As I said,
Yeah.
we can have an answer by the end of the week.
When they,
Is that enough? Is
what
that?
event kicks it in,
Yeah.
how many
Well,
officers?
I would like
what's
to
the
kind of get
requirements?
some answers here at the table because we paid for this. This board gives $2,500 for this event
Mhm.
and $5,000 for the Holiday Open House.
Mhm.
So if we wait until September, then we're less than 30 days out.
So are you saying that Friday is too
Well,
much?
I don't know
can't
what
give
we're
you
gonna
an
be able
answer
to,
right
we
now.
have to talk about it. It's like what
Sure.
we're gonna do because I need to know if I have to come to you guys and say, we're gonna have to, if we want this event, the taxing is gonna have to
Okay, so.
subsidize.
So I understand the urgency behind everything here, but Renee's just had this dropped on her, just like you had it dropped on you last week. And she has no idea, what, she just learned about this just this second,
So
so
do
she
we
can't
have
make a
another
decision
meeting?
right now. So I don't know if we
This
can
is,
make. a
this is not
decision.
about Renee. This is about Eric not being here. This
Okay,
is the problem. That
Not here.
Stacy, we had a meeting last Tuesday and she's been calling Eric since last Tuesday and has not heard back from Eric.
And
And
emailing.
right after the meeting that we were expecting to talk to him and he's not here. That's the problem, is Eric is not here to answer these questions. This is nothing about Renee. No, Renee, this is nothing about you.
So Tim, I would suggest, I think the lesson here is going forward, let's make sure we're including Renee in communications with Eric and help her bird dog some of the stuff.
So
Eric
do
is
we need
still,
to schedule
Eric is still
another
our city liaison. Renee is learning. Eric should be answering these questions.
But Renee could also be an advocate,
She's
right?
an advocate, sure. But we need the liaison from the city here right now to talk about these things. This is a big deal for Old Webster, for all of us.
Yeah, I can't, I'm just gonna be honest as the chair, like to find this out weeks before, we're putting the sponsorship out by Friday. This Friday is a sponsorship request. That's what's planned. So now we're finding this out at the very end that this has been added on. It could be a $5,000 expense for all I know. I mean, do we cancel it? So my question is, do we need to schedule a meeting once we get because I need to come back to you guys and get request money.
Let's
Yeah,
find out
find
what
out
the
the-
parameters of what kicks in the need for secondary for.
Okay, so if we
police,
find
and
that
then-
out by Friday,
And then.
I will need
to.
to get an answer
Well-
from this board by Monday.
Right, because it may be just like a jazz fest would need it, but a Walktoberfest might not, because we don't know. We don't know what we don't know, so.
Fran told us at the trade meeting that they required it at the gazebo series. So if they're requiring it at the
Gazebo
gazebo
series
series,
is different than, I think, than Walktoberfest, because there's a
how?
lot of different.
Streets are shut down.
Yeah, streets are shut down.
Streets are shut down for
and-
Oktoberfest and holiday open house.
Something. I don't know.
Stacy, yeah, if you can get additional information, identify what, if any, is the cost impact, and if there's alternatives.
Right.
Maybe, yeah, or just, for example, could the event be modified that wouldn't require?
Okay, so who is going to be making these modifications a month before? I'm gonna tell you, we're so close to the event. I'm going to ball. I'm a retail store. I can't be making major changes to an event. I mean, we're talking we literally just had to go to the trade and request a checkbox. If you're not willing to volunteer, then I need money because I have to pay my employees to help, because that's how literally nobody is helping with these events.
Mhm.
So I can't find out a month before an event when we're getting sponsorships, that all of a sudden things need to be modified in any way, let's just cancel the event is where I'm going. So like, if all of a sudden we find out it's $2,500 or whatever it is, if we're too late, it's so far into the planning process at this point to make major changes.
Mhm.
So if we're gonna get an answer by something on Friday, then we need to schedule and turn around and have another meeting here on Monday, because I'm gonna have to request Monday.
Well, nobody's gonna be here on Monday because that's a holiday.
Tuesday, okay. You know,
Or if there's a
So
way to
can I
request-
just say something? I mean, I hear you, but you're saying you want an answer today, and I'm trying to
well, I wanted
work
the answer
with
last
you.
When I picked up the phone
Okay,
to call
I got
Eric.
that, I got that, and
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be combative,
Okay,
but I'm really offering the best that I can, and you don't
Renee, we
even know
you are.
what I'm
We know you
trying, what I might try to do behind the scenes. It's like, you're just shooting it down, and can you give me a chance? You might
so are
not
you
have
saying
to
that
pay
you might
20.
get the?
I'm saying, give me a
wage?
chance, and if I can get, I'll
Okay.
get you, if I need to get it, and if I push it for tomorrow to give you an answer, I'm
Okay.
happy to do so.
That
But
would
I
be
am
awesome.
asking, yes, I'm
Okay.
the new guy, okay?
Yeah.
But you guys are really, I want to work with you. I'm not ignoring you. I don't want to ignore you. I will not ignore you.
Okay, Renee, can I
Give it a
request
shot.
you
Please give
then
me a
have a
shot.
conversation with Eric that says, anytime a business owner emails you or calls and leaves messages, if you could please let me know so I can step in, because I was not given the information that I need to be reaching out to you instead of Eric. And I've been trying to get a hold of Eric for an entire week over this. Now I'm a week behind. We have to get sponsorships out, meaning we need to know how much we're charging each business to participate in this event, so then we can start with the marketing. We can't do anything without the sponsorship. Sponsorship was supposed to be out last week. We weren't able to do that because we found out about this. So then if we're not finding out till Friday, it's another week. So every week that goes by, we're getting closer and closer to this event and I'm unable to do things with it. Well, I'm also trying to run my own business because I'm a volunteer. So that's why it's frustrating. I don't get paid to put on these ginormous events for the city. I volunteer to do these events. So when I call the city asking for things and nobody is returning my phone call, that's extremely frustrating. It has nothing to do with you personally. It has to do with the city. I was always told to Eric is in charge of permits. He actually had this conversation with me last year about holiday open house when the event grew and we talked about closing down Gore, which is why I was talking about we are possibly closing down the street. Because Eric last year said we might want to be looking at closing down the street because it's such a big event. So excuse my shock when I find this information out. And Eric was the one that actually talked to me about maybe we can shut down streets. Okay, so now I'm a little like, Eric, what's happening? Nobody's calling me back. So that's why it's frustrating. Because I'm a volunteer. I don't get paid at all. $0. Okay. So as soon as I can hear something, that would be amazing. And then we can get sponsorships out hopefully by Tuesday. Fingers crossed. If we're not able to get funding from the city, can I request you guys pay for it?
You can
Taxing?
request it.
You can request.
We don't have any money, but can you increase the sponsorship amount?
We can add an increase, but I don't know if it's gonna,
Let's find out what it costs.
Yeah.
See.
okay, so then
The
what?
answer is put
We'll
together
just
your
have to
ask
wait.
and
To
bring it to the group.
Bring it to the group and how am I doing that if the meeting's not until next September?
emails, calls,
Okay.
texts.
And say that I need a
This is what we
request.
know, this is what we need. How can we get
Bring
it?
out your budget, lay the request. Grant, I'm assuming we could do an interim. Could we do
A short meeting?
either a short
A
meeting or
special
something,
meeting?
special meeting,
Schedule a special meeting.
whether it's virtual or
To
something.
make the vote.
So can I try to get an answer to you by tomorrow morning?
That would be
Okay, I'm
awesome.
not promising.
Okay,
I definitely can have something by Friday, but can I try to have?
yeah,
something to
I
you
mean,
by
I'm
tomorrow
fine with
morning?
that. Yeah, that works for me.
Okay,
If we have an answer, then
Present your thoughts.
let us know what the answer is and then we can.
Yeah.
If we have to
We're
come in
able to do
virtually.
this via
virtually.
email, is that correct? Like you can
Uh,
do
A
a
vote?
No,
group.
we'd have
We have to
to,
be
so
in
have
person
to,
to vote.
we'd have
like
to be
that.
virtual or in person.
Okay.
they can do, you can do virtual. You can do virtual. We can do a.
But it has to be a scheduled meeting is what I mean. Like, we can't just
We have-
leave
we have to
this
announce
meeting
it.
and then
So-
not meet until September.
However, maybe we have to schedule.
So we can
You have
schedule
to
it.
be, you
It's-
have to give 24-hour notice of the meeting. It has to be posted.
So that means Thursday, but we can, if I get you an answer. Yeah, if I get you an answer, if I get an answer and have some kind of direction. I will very much try by the end of the day, and then if we have to post something to have,
Mhm.
at least you know, like, I can let you know
Mhm.
the answer. And then we get the meeting,
Mhm.
and then y'all can take the vote,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So that, I want to work it so it does not impede your ability to get these sponsorships out or to make your decision which way you want to go. Because it sounds like Friday is like a drop dead deadline.
I mean, last Friday was the drop dead.
I got you.
deadline, So I'm a little nervous. We're
Okay.
pushing it.
Okay, just give me
Okay.
a few hours.
Well, and also I still need to sit down and talk to whoever isn't doing the permits, the actual permits, about how perennial and the steps I need to take for that.
Is that for the beer tasting or?
Yeah, I invited you to the trade meeting to talk about it.
Wouldn't Rail be in charge of that themselves, the permit?
Yes,
So
but it's a
for
October fest.
liquor, you're gonna need a permit from the city
Yes,
that says that you're having an event, you're gonna need a permit. or a letter from the city that says they can serve alcohol.
Perennial
that's-
is,
that's-
has to go through that permit process, Mark
And
knows
then,
that.
yeah, and then they have to go to the state and get a liquor
Yes,
picnicking or
Yeah.
catering permit. But it has to start with the city.
Yeah.
And then they can pay St. Louis County.
yeah, they know. I sat down with
They're
Mark and
big,
talked to him
yeah.
about it, yeah. I just didn't know how I had to set up the Walktoberfest permit for that. Like if I also need to bring the perennial permit or like if perennial needs to submit their permit the same time the Walktober permit because it's a overlapping event on the same day.
I would suggest that you
I
do
would term them
that at
together
the same
over-
time, yeah, because they have to be
The
reviewed
next-
by the special events committee.
Yes,
And I would suggest doing them both at the same time. That
Right.
way it's
so
moving along
that's why
at the
this is
same
kind of
time.
holding us up a little
I got
as
you.
well. Okay. I figured that that's how it would have to.
If Perennial had all that on their patio, they wouldn't need permits for any of that.
No, but the point of it is trying to get some activity around where the band is.
Okay.
And we're opening up anybody to do a pop-up by the band. We just haven't been able to put out the sponsorship yet to give all the details.
Stacy, if you feel that it warrants getting this group back together, let me know.
Okay,
Coordinate with Fran.
And by anybody being able to do a pop-up, like anybody from outside
Anybody
the
in the-
city,
anybody in the old Webster taxing district.
anybody who is already.
Any other new business thoughts? BDC update. Tim?
Oh, we got a coffee coming up on is it the 28th of next month, Fran?
18.
What's that?
18.
18th of next month. And then I was not really the happy hour. Can you fill in on that? Because I had missed the meeting before, so I didn't really know what was going on with that.
So the happy hour is this Thursday, the 29th. At
Okay.
Clover on the Beat.
And that's
At 5
a
p.m.
joint.
Yeah.
The BDC is hosting that with the chamber. So you don't have to be a chamber member to attend, but it is for Webster Groves business owners. It's gonna be at the Clover and the Bee. And if, you will get one drink ticket on the BDC.
Anything else on BDC, Tim?
No.
Okay, great. Thank you. Questions for Tim? Good. All right. City update.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm sorry.
I just looked at this, why this is sitting here. The happy hour. If you got that in your email or didn't, or a text, I mean, have you seen that before? Because if you haven't, if you scan this QR code, it takes you to the notify me page on the city website. And then there are multiple things that you can pick and choose what you want to be notified for. And have you selected business owners and contractors, you would have gotten the notice. There's a whole bunch of there's like at least a dozen different things that you can get notices on. Okay, sorry.
And for those watching the recording, where do they go?
It's on the city website under notify me off of the main landing page.
Thank you, Frank. Now,
Okay.
city update.
Hey, everybody. Okay, since you all had your recess in July, the city we've broken ground on the water park, which was really awesome. They're currently conducting a school supply drive right now here at City Hall. Ends at the end of this week, I think. There's also a composting survey that the Sustainability Commission is conducting. And the Green Dining District or Green Dining Alliance effort and micro grant is up and running for our restaurants and any food service in Webster. They're really hoping to become a green dining district like Maplewood and South Grand and Delmar. Additionally, in our last council meeting, the Lakota group, came and shared their State of the City, report, and that was really fascinating. If you have just tons of time and you want to go back and listen to that meeting, I encourage it. It's actually really cool, to kind of see where our opportunities exist. And so they've been, really great partners in that effort. We celebrated at our last meeting the firefighter of the year, Brad Williamson. And the Traffic Advisory Commission shared a report with us, trying to look into where there's like hot spots, and congestion, and a more comprehensive parking plan. And that's now sitting with staff, and that's where we are.
Thank you.
Sure, thank you all.
Any questions? for
What-
Jane?
What is the name, what's the name of that meeting or the date if we wanted to go back and look at it?
The Lakota
Uh-huh.
group, yeah, so it was just in our, we had to, unfortunately, we ran out of time during our, oh Lord, what's the first part of our meeting called?
Work session.
Clearly not enough coffee today. And so the work session, that's where it starts, and then we had to like pause and then go through a couple of pieces of business at our regular meeting, and then they picked it up and finished it off, there. But, that was just last Tuesday.
Okay.
Yep. And then, also they have a website, Journey to Webster Groves, and a lot of, that same information is there. Pretty cool. It's exciting.
Jane, can you get back to the composting thing that you're saying?
Yeah.
That's through BDC, it's a survey?
So it's through the Sustainability Commission, and they have that, like, I don't know if you all get the Friday page and that sort of thing, that link.
You can check off the Friday page when you go.
Oh, yeah, do it, everybody. Yeah, and so that's where that composting survey is, but also the information for the Green Dining Alliance micro grant program that sustainability has had in the works for a while now. That is also live and ready to roll.
Survey is super short.
Thanks.
I have one question while we're here too. The business license request, like those went out in the mail. Mine went to my personal house.
Actually, I never got it either, but I printed an old one on the website and I brought it in here.
So do business owners know that those went out? Because had I not just randomly checked my mail, which is very rare that like we can get mail at our house.
Yeah, it was odd. Cause I came
didn't
in a
go to
couple
my
times to
business.
pay and they're like, oh, you'll get a email. I said, do you have my email? Well, no. So I'm like, here, I'm just gonna do it the old fashioned way.
So
Here's-
anybody that hasn't renewed for their business license, how will they be contacted? Because I'm assuming if I got it at my house, other people got it at their
So
house.
I would suggest you check the information that you provided and
I've never put my person.
because I don't
Ever.
think we just arbitrarily send things to people's homes.
You did, because I've never been, it was my personal residence. I didn't move there until 4 years ago.
Mine went to my personal residence as well.
Yeah, and everything's to my business. I mean. I've had
Mine went to
business
my
for 12
business.
years.
Mine went to my building in Kirkwood. No idea how they have that address.
That's a good question.
Yeah,
'Cause
so-
I would imagine it should pick up whatever your profile,
Right.
your
You would
business
think.
profile, so there may be a glitch.
I think
You
there's a
know,
glitch. that you guys
because
wanna
why
look
would it go to
into.
Kirkwood? I don't know,
I
but
would
that's
imagine.
something to look into.
Mine was the only one that went to the right place, I guess.
Okay,
So I don't know if.
and maybe we need to make an announcement that business renewals, it's time to
Yes.
renew your license. Because we could do that on the website, on the Facebook page.
Yes, because everything is to my business,
Yeah.
not to my home at all.
Okay,
And because I've been anyway, I've never had anything go to my house or my business ever.
so
It's
was that
an
like a
LLC.
snail mail letter?
It
That you
came
got?
back. Yeah, and everything's at that address, so I don't know why anything would have come to my house. Who do I contact about that? You, okay.
Yeah, me.
So
Okay,
you might want to put my name in and
Yeah.
then make sure that nothing else is going to my house.
well, and I do think that it sounds like we really need to make an announcement, letting business owners know it's that time of the year. And ideally, how did you get yours? Did you download it?
Download the old form from the year.
Was it
before.
fillable?
I I wrote it in and
Okay,
no.
that's a goal as well.
I'm
To make
just
them
concerned about
downloadable
my
and
house.
fillable.
Went to your house? Yeah.
Well, I'm
that's
concerned about
concerned.
other people who haven't renewed.
Right,
Right.
and then it's
Didn't-
going to
didn't
their
get it.
personal
It's
ad,
going
their
to the wrong
business,
place.
Yeah.
it's going to
Okay.
their houses,
We,
never, yeah,
like the mail,
yeah.
it's like this big.
I
like,
can't believe I
Laura
even
was
came
going through
across
the
it.
mail and she was like,
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, I've never received anything for Paisley at my personal.
So it sounds like I don't know what the deadline is for that payment. I don't know when, if originally,
April 30th.
Renee, it was
Yeah.
April 30th, but
Right.
we didn't go out, but I think we maybe need to somehow contact business owners and say, hey, here, send that old copy and they can fill it out, and at least so we can get funding, which we're already short on last year, which we're gonna be really short on this year, if nobody's filled it out or knows they even got one.
Because also the actual like piece of paper, the business renewal had my actual personal address on it as well. Yeah. Did yours?
Is your article,
Yeah,
are your articles of organization under
I-
your personal?
nothing. I'm an
Nothing?
LLC, nothing's under me personally. Everything is all
Or
under
tax documents?
nothing. Paisley Boutique LLC. I've never received something at my house. I've only lived at this house for 5 years, 4.5 years.
A lot of ours goes to homes.
So my business license in Webster has always been for my business address. Yeah, I wouldn't even went back to like, I don't know how my personal address got on my business renewal. And it
For
would
raising
be
our concern, I think it sounds like Renee's gonna
take care of
do
that.
some checking in the database and put out notifications for everybody to be aware. Sometimes these things happen.
So I have an update.
Yes. perfect.
I think you all might like this. So we are actually going to be hosting 2 fellows from the Southeast Asia Leadership Institute. And it's a joint fellowship between ICMA, which is International City Manager Association, and the State Department. And so we have 2 ladies. One is coming from Laos, Vietnam, and the other one is Myanmar. And so the exciting part for the businesses are, they are going to be focused on sustainability. They're going to be looking at recycling, specifically for commercial areas. And so there may be some things that they come up with and discover and identify that will be beneficial to our business districts. So I'm pretty excited about that. We're really moving towards a sustainable community, and you all just mentioned lights, LED lights and such. So just to let you know, I think this is great. You'll be seeing them. Hopefully, I think it would be great if we could do tours of all the different districts and just let them interact with you guys and talk about your concerns and issues, especially when it comes down to recycling and such, and what you can do to make your businesses more sustainable. So,
Excellent. Forward to that.
and that's September 16th is when they will arrive. So they'll be here for a month, leaving October 14th.
Or this will be any comments from the police department? Keeping us safe. That's right. Mean streets of Webster. Our next meeting is scheduled for September 17th. As far as the time goes, we've done 8:15 the last several. I think we'll continue with that. Projections. We may have a short notice meeting, so be on the lookout if that happens. We try to get the notice out Friday or a meeting on Tuesday. So just be aware of that. I will, any other comments? Entertain a motion to adjourn. A second, thank you very much. All approved? Thank you much.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Have a great week.
Oh, you did like you did.
Thanks for coming here.
I know,
It's
your next
just a
meeting, your
little-
next
yeah,
meeting, 'cause it's
too
not-
expected, but yeah.
I gotta look and see what happening in the world.